What's up, fellow entrepreneurs? Today I want to talk about the recent events that occurred at Wii Spa and what an impossible position Wii Spa was put into because of the conflict between the rights of two different groups. But first, remember, I'm a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. So please find suitable representation for your specific questions or needs. Okay, let's get into it. A few weeks ago, a video circulated about a woman angry because a transgendered person disrobed in the women's locker room. In the video, you can see and hear the woman complaining that a transgendered person was in the women's locker room with exposed male genitalia. An argument soon erupted between several women that were offended by the transgendered person being in the women's locker room exposed, the staff that indicated they were following the law, and then there were other patrons that were defending the rights of the transgendered person to use the locker room in which they identified. I'm not qualified to comment on the rights of either community, but I want to speak on the rights of the business. There's not an easy answer to whether a pre-op man to woman transgendered person has the right to undress in the women's locker room. One side will argue that the transgendered person has the right to use the facilities, while the other side will argue that it violates the privacy of women and children. But what about the business stuck in the middle? I have yet to hear anyone even consider the rights of the business to run a private entity without interference and without manufactured negative political crisis. This is a business that likely took considerable investment and employs a large amount of staff. In the video, it looked like Wii Spa was attempting to follow the law, but in this case, the law didn't address the rights of all involved, and it placed the business in a position where it had to pick a side. Unfortunately, even though Wii Spa picked a side, neither side was happy. The next week, groups from both sides showed up at Wii Spa to protest and caused considerable disruption to the business. Once again, a California business is the odd man out. The business is required to pick a side in a fight that is not theirs, and they lose either way. The best case scenario here is that this blows over and Wii Spa can get back to business as usual, even after suffering unnecessary losses. What's more likely is that this event will create a narrative that Wii Spa is pro one side and anti the other side, which will likely hurt its business for an extended period of time. Where are the protesters and the voices for this small business that provides a needed service to the community and employment to people in a city with an unemployment problem? I don't think that trans rights or women's rights are unimportant, but I think this complete disregard for businesses in California is part of the recent political landscape in California that does not value those that take all of the risk to provide goods and services to California citizens. Politicians are puzzled that so many businesses are moving to Texas, Nevada, and Arizona. Is there really any doubt that people do not want to risk their life savings and labor on a state that does not make any attempt to protect its rights? I don't have the answers, but I do know that when you make any group expendable, every other group will treat them that way. So until next time, folks, be productive.